Is there any damage among those four TRAs?
Yes, Tiaza, upon their inspection, has reported damage on the tourist stressed areas, but these are quite minor.
Mm,
The tourist stressed areas have withstood the 6.9 magnitude earthquake and are still standing and serving the public and the community. So, apart from the minor damage, the TRAs continue to be operational. Specific to the tourist stressed area in Medellin, I was speaking to the mayor, and he informed me when I was there that apart from continuing to be a site for receiving the public's donations for the
mm,
quake victims, the tourist rest area is also now serving as their command center, and it is really helping their LGU, no, as they organize
mm,
continue to organize their efforts
mm,
for the tourist rest area in Moalboal.
mm,
The LGU has also confirmed that it can now receive donations from the public, which the LGU will facilitate
mm,
delivery to the affected tourism
mm,
sites. And our office continues, our Office of Special Concerns continues to coordinate with the LGUs of Carmen
mm.
as well as Karkar, as their TRAs also continue to be operational.
All right. Okay, so it's a good thing that though they sustained damage, but a minor one, and now they're now being used as a drop off point for receiving donations or aid coming from outside Cebu. Okay, so earlier you mentioned about the more than 1,000 tourism workers that were affected by the earthquake in Cebu. So, uh, okay, so what are the actions of the OT to assist them, Secretary? Those 1,206 tourism workers, and where do we get the funds?
Yes. Um, we fully understand the plight of tourism workers when disasters strike because immediately it leads to a loss of livelihood, no?
Mm-mm.
So then we coordinate regularly and um, closely with the SWD as
Mm-hmm.
far as the immediate provision of food packs for them. And in fact, the distribution of food packs to the tourism frontliners has already begun. I
Mm.
understand that close to 1,000 tourism workers have already been provided with food packs.
Mm.
On the other hand, we have also endorsed their names to the DSWD for the eventual provision of emergency cash transfer. And they are also endorsed to our Office of Human Capital Development so that we can provide alternative livelihood training for them so that even as their regular places of work in the affected tourism sites continue to be closed,
Mm-mm.
they can have alternative livelihood that is still related to the tourism industry.
Mm. And also, is the DOT coordinated already with the labor department to address the needs of those affected tourism workers, Secretary?
We do have an existing convergence memorandum of agreement with DOLE.
Mm.
That is for the TUPAD naman. So for the TUPAD, we're also able to endorse their names, and that also comes with um, tourism industry skills
Mm.
trainings.
Mm. And those tourism workers will be assisted as long as their establishments are not yet operational, Secretary.
Yes,
Mm.
that is the commitment of the national government to be able to work hand in
Mm.
hand with our local government units and our affected tourism workers, recognizing not just their service and sacrifice for our nation, but also the plight that they are currently suffering with the closure of the tourism establishments. But
Mm-mm.
I wanted to clarify that while the province of Cebu continues to be under a state of calamity,
Mm-mm.
the provincial government has already issued an advisory that for the areas that are not affected by the earthquake,
Mm-mm.
meaning certain parts of northern Cebu, central Cebu, and southern Cebu,
Mm-mm.
these continue to be open for tourism. The city governments of Lapu-Lapu in Mactan, Cebu City, and Mandaue have also respectively declared their areas open for tourism.
Mm-mm.
And so while relief efforts continue for the affected places in certain parts of northern Cebu,
Mm-mm.
the rest of Cebu continues to be open for tourism. And in fact, yesterday,
Mm-mm.
uh, we received the Villa VMV Odyssey, which is a cruise line
Mm-mm.
that travels to 147 countries, and they included Cebu as one of their stops yesterday. And this gives a lot of hope for Cebu that
Mm-mm.
tourism can continue to be a source of livelihood.
Mm-hmm. And also, just a note, Secretary. So, the government is committed to help our tourism workers to get back on their feet, and at the same time, Cebu is still open for tourists. Like you mentioned, there was a cruise ship that docked in Cebu, and they will and that contains tourists so that they can explore more of Cebu. Though that province is still in the state of calamity. By the way, given that the cruise ship docked already at Cebu and tourists already landed there, so can tourists extend hands in helping the community to rebuild? And how can they help, Secretary?
You know, the most touching thing that I learned yesterday when I spoke to the foreigners that docked in Cebu, they came from very many countries now that include
Mm-mm.
the US, India, um, South Africa,
Mm-mm.
uh, Greece, and Romania, very many other countries.
Mm-mm.
They informed me that when they learned of the earthquake in Cebu, they voluntarily came together to gather funds. And
Mm.
I think yung last count nila reached around $16,000 yata.
Oh.
That they voluntarily gave out of the goodness of their hearts for to contribute to the relief efforts
Mm-hmm.
in northern Cebu. I understand that upon docking, they coordinated with the ship agent, and then they are now the ones who are coordinating with the LGU in the north to be able to give their donation. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know, this is a very encouraging and touching
Yes,
gesture on the
indeed.
part of our tourists who have the heart for our local communities that have been severely affected. I know there's been a lot of difficult and
Mm-mm.
devastating news in the past few days, but little
Mm,
tidbits of information like this really gives you hope in the goodness of
indeed.
humanity.
Hmm. And that's good to hear because these tourists have come together to help our kababayans there in Cebu so that they get back they get back on their feet and rise up again in the midst of the challenges. So we can thank them enough, Secretary, for their kindness and their support to our Filipinos and also in our kababayans in Cebu. But okay, so
Yes, you know, in fact, when I was there in Bogo, San Remigio, and um, Medellin, I met so many private individuals and
mm,
organizations that voluntarily are voluntarily giving their time, their resources um, to help people. And so as we say, no, makatandog kayo sa kasing-kasing. I met a group of doctors. I met the JCI Zugbuanas who were there. Of course, the Philippine Red Cross and all of their volunteers were there in full force to set up the tent cities for the three LGUs that are helping those that have been severely displaced. So it's really a very encouraging time that
Yeah,
shows also our sense of bayanihan, our sense of community,
that's right.
and shows us the good that there is amongst our fellow Filipinos.
And the spirit of Bayanihan lives on. Okay, so before I let you go, Secretary Frasco, one last question. On a personal note. So, as a Cebuana yourself, Secretary, how did you feel when your fellow Cebuanos faced this strategy and then work together to rebuild of what they have lost?
Well, of course, it's severely heartbreaking to witness the suffering of our fellow Cebuanos, especially those who have lost their entire families.
Right.
Many children perished as well as this happened in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Um, and I was able to speak to some of these some of the families of the victims. No, so um, sakit kayo sa dughan yun, and it's very painful. But at the same time, um, Cebu has been through so much. There's been a lot of tragedies that have befallen the province uh, from Yolanda in the north of Cebu to COVID-19 to Super Typhoon Odette. I
Yeah.
was mayor at the time. To the earthquake now. And what I have always seen in the Cebuanos is a deep sense of faith. Ang amuang pag-ampog pangaliya kang Santo Niño o sa Ginoo o kang Mama Mary. And that indefatigable strength of spirit that urges Cebuanos to help each other in times of trial and in times of need. I think that's the reason why there's so many people that have really volunteered their time and resources, because that is the Cebuano way, that we come together, we unite, we help each other in times of difficulty and trial. And that is why we say padayon o kombate ang mga Subuano niining panahon sa kalisod. And we're just so grateful that so many people have come to the aid of Cebu.
And personally, Secretary Frasco, I believe Cebuanos will rise again, and I personally know Cebuanos. They're very resilient people, and they're very hardworking. So with these challenges, they will be able to rise up again and live their normal lives again. Anyway, thank you so much, Secretary Cristina Garcia Frasco, the Secretary of the Department of the Tourism, for joining us and providing your report regarding the situation of our kababayans there in Cebu, particularly in the tourism sector, and how they are coping up and how are they facing these challenges as we speak. So thank you so much, Secretary Frasco, for joining us in the program, and we hope to have you again anytime soon.
Thank you. Dagan kayong salamat. Dagan kayong salamat.
Daghang salamat po. And you just heard Secretary of Department of Tourism, Secretary Cristina Garcia Frasco. And Front and Center will be right back after these short messages. You're listening here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Paliwanag mo sa tao na hindi totoo yan.
Dahil ang totoo, yung totoo ang dapat ninyong malaman.
Nagkalat sa internet ang fake news
Ang
o
ginagawa
mali
ng
at
fake news, tinatapon niyo yung tao.
What they are doing is creating panic.
We say no.
Yung pagkalat ng fake news. And some of it's dangerous.
Sana iwasan po natin pagsispread ng fake news.
At di magpapakalat ng disinformation at misinformation ang kasulukuyang administrasyon.
Stop telling us fake news because you're wrong.
Para sa totoo at mapagkakatiwalaang mga balita balita't impormasyon. Radyo Pilipinas.
This is a public service announcement.
Maging handa sa oras ng sakuna. Para sa iyo at sa iyong pamilya, laging siguruhin. Go Bag ay nakahanda at naglalaman ng mga sumusunod. Ilang pirasong damit, ready-to-eat na pagkain at inuming aabot ng 3 araw. Personal na gamit para sa inyong hygiene. First aid kit kabilang ang alcohol, bandages, gamot sa lagnat, ubo at sipon, pati na rin ang inyong vitamins at maintenance medicines. Maglagay ng pito, flashlight, lighter o posporo. Huwag kalimutan ang mga charger o power bank. At higit sa lahat, isama ang mga importanteng gamit gaya ng inyong mga legal na dokumento, IDs.
Front and center. Front and center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Welcome back to Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service with me, Jerome Toledo. And to give us an update regarding the situation in Cebu, particularly the aftermath of a magnitude 6.9 earthquake. And also, we have heard a report here that the joint study of between Japan International Cooperation Agency and the Philippine government regarding on West Valley Fault is being considered for a review. So let's find out from the director of Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, Director Teresito Bacolcol. Good morning, Director. Thank you so much for joining us in the program. This is Jerome Toledo of Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Director, good morning. Again, good morning, Director Bacolcol.
Yes, sir. Good morning din po sa inyo.
Ayan, good morning po. Okay, so series of aftershocks following the magnitude 6.9 earthquake has reached 7,000. Can you confirm this, Director?
Yes, as of 8 a.m., we recorded 7,027 aftershocks, and the magnitude would range from magnitude 1 to magnitude 5.1. And out of the 7,027 aftershocks, 31 of these were felt.
Were felt. Okay. So a lot of aftershocks that are felt here, but it's 7,026 aftershocks were recorded according to Director Bacolcol of FIVOX. By the way, regarding the fault line that was discovered in Cebu last Friday, Director Bacolcol. So what is this newfound fault line called, and is this connected to a larger fault system in the Visayas? Can you tell us more about this, Director?
Okay, so again, last Friday, our team, our FIVOX Quick Response Team, was able to map the online extension of the fault that generated the magnitude 6.9 event. Mm-hmm. So we call this the BOGO fault. The evidence would be fresh cracks, pressure mounts, and fault scarps. And as of now, our team was able to map at least 6 kilometers length of the on-land trace of that fault. But that fault, based on our estimates, would be around 40 to 50 kilometers.
That's a
40 to 50 kilometers fault would be able to generate a magnitude 6.9 event. So maybe a major part of the fault is located offshore or nasa dagat.
Okay. It's in some of them are offshore and some of them are onshore. Upon discovery of that fault line, Director, has geologists at FIVOX found any soil liquefaction or a sinkhole formation there?
Yes, our team also mapped the impacts of that event, and there were several liquefaction that were mapped especially in the Bantayan Island. For the sinkholes, yes, there are also sinkholes, but sinkholes are basically mapped by MGB because that's their mandate. So, but there are sinkholes, and of course, we expect sinkholes on that area because it's made up of limestones, and sinkholes are found in limestone areas such as Cebu and Bohol. In fact, during the 2013 earthquake, there were also several sinkholes that appeared after the earthquake.
I see. And how deep are those sinkholes found there?
For now, I really have no idea. It's better if we ask MGB because they're the ones mapping
Okay.
these sinkholes.
I see. Okay. Regarding the aftershocks that Cebu is currently experiencing right now, particularly in northern Cebu, you mentioned about more than 7,000 aftershocks. So, can we say that aftershocks generated by this earthquake are already subsiding, or is it continuing?
The aftershocks would probably last for several weeks more, but through time naman, these aftershocks would dwindle in number, and they would also decrease in their magnitude. So right now, we've recorded during the first 24 hours, we recorded 1,850 aftershocks. And then the next 24 hours, it became 1,463 until between yesterday and between August 4 and August 5, the aftershocks reached only around 988. So again, through time, these aftershocks would decrease in number as well as in strength.
I see. Okay, and that's a good news that it's continuously decreasing. Okay, so jumping to another topic regarding the 2004 joint study of JICA and the Philippine government on the West Valley Fault. Can you tell us about this 2004 study or joint study between Japan and the Philippines regarding the West Valley Fault?
Okay, so in 2004, there was a study. I think it started in 2002, and then the results were released in 2004. There was a study by JICA, MMDA, FIVOX, and the study was called Myers Metro Manila Metro Manila Earthquake Impact Reduction Study. And based on that study, the casualties was estimated, and according to that study, the casualty would be around in the event of magnitude 7.2 earthquake, there will be around 33,500 casualty, and that's for a magnitude 7.2 earthquake. Now, if it's magnitude 6.5 event, the casualty would be around 23,000. That's the number of fatalities. So for the Cebu earthquake, it's 6.9. If that will happen in Metro Manila, it's not magnitude 7.2 but magnitude 6.5. The casualties would be around 23,000 to 30,000.
Okay, so kaya ito po yung dahilan kung bakit kino-consider na po ito for a review of our government, so that it will should be maging relevant
updated. Yes, and relevant in today's context.
Okay. So, will this study po, Director, once reviewed and eventually revised, it will be useful for policy making and to prepare ourselves should the big one earthquake strikes in Metro Manila?
Yes, this is very important because, again, as I've mentioned, this study was done 20 years ago, and many things have changed since then. There are more people now, and newer buildings, and we have skyway and rail line that's ongoing, and so we really have to update. Some of the buildings were already retrofitted by DPWH, so we want to know if yung retrofitting na ginawa ay may effect doon sa number of casualties natin, and the number of buildings also that will be heavily damaged.
And the same agency will be involved in the review, like MMDA and some other agencies. Is that correct, Director?
Yes, yung lead agencies dito would be OCD, DOST, and of course kami rin. We're doing a big a major role in the study, as well as MMDA and DPWH.
Oh, okay. Very well said. Okay, so thank you so much, Director Teresito Bacolcol of the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology. Thank you so much for joining us in the program.
And thank you also for having me here.
Okay, thank you. All right, and that was Director Teresito Bacolcol of the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology. And now we conclude this edition of Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service, together with our technical team headed by Miss Susan Aizon, Justine Osias, and Leo Magpayo. This is your host, Jerome Toledo. Until next time, mabuhay.
You have just heard and watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.